Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to McAD's Entertainment. I'm your host as always, Adam McGahee. Just want to say thank you all again for helping grow this channel like crazy. We are on the road to 6,300 subscribers, which is completely nuts. I love making these videos and getting to nerd out with all of you on here, and reading your constant comments and support truly motivates me to keep going. You all are the true heroes. We continue once again breaking down the shambling, stinky corpses of the heroes and villains from the Marvel Zombies comics. In our last St. Patrick's Day special, we covered the full gory story of the eye-eating Irish cannibal herself, Zombie Shamrock. I will have that video linked in the title card and the description below. In today's video, we'll be going over one of the OG and longest living flesh-eating heroes, and that would be the leg-eating invincible man, Zombie Luke Cage. No, not even Luke Cage's supposedly impenetrable skin was tough enough to resist the alien disease that turned him and his friends into flesh-eating maniacs. His story is quite long and bloody, so without further ado, get a shape up, sit back, relax, and enjoy the full gory story of Zombie Luke Cage. Who is he? Zombie Luke Cage, like most of the heroes of this dimension, was infected with a mysterious virus that turned him and the rest of the superpowered beings of this dimension into deranged intelligent monsters. He made his first appearance in the pages of Ultimate Fantastic Four number 22 back in 2005. He comes from Earth 2149, but his origins pre-infection were very similar to his main universe counterpart from Earth 616. Of course, all of that changed one awful day when Ash Williams from the Evil Dead movies found his way to this dimension after being slapped here through a portal by a zombie version of Marvel's Superman the Sentry at the gates of heaven. Knowing he was going to need some help with the blondie zombie hot on his tail, Ash went to seek the help of the Avengers. Seeing that their gate was locked, Ash knew time was of the essence and used his boomstick to blow open their intercom. Hey man, if you want to get the Avengers' attention, that's definitely one way to do it. Points for creativity? Luke Cage and the other Avengers did in fact arrive, but this may not have been the kind of attention Ash wanted, as they are rather upset at the dude for making the kind of entrance that he did. Cage, thinking Ash was a villain, grabbed him by the collar, threatening to beat the poor guy up for messing with their intercom. Jeez man, it's just a bloody intercom, mate! Take it easy! Ash then tried to warn the Avengers of the coming zombie invasion, but the heroes just thought the man was nuts and had Spider-Man swing him away to the authorities for being a pest. Luke and the gang then went to go back into Avengers Mansion and binge some Netflix and play some PS5, but were sadly interrupted by Jarvis, who told them about a distress call involving mysterious purple lightning in the middle of New York. Having to take a rain check on the PS5, Luke and the rest fired up the Quinjet and headed to the city to see just what was going on. Arriving to the scene, the heroes quickly discovered that Ash may have just been telling the truth, where they discovered the unconscious body of the diseased sentry in the middle of a crater. Colonel America went to check if the guy was okay, only for him to wake up and start brutally attacking Cap and the others. See guys, you should have listened to Ash. Y'all didn't listen, and it came back to bite you. Literally. Somehow getting his impenetrable skin, penetrated, Luke Cage was one of the ground zero victims to be infected by the zombified sentry. Within seconds, the virus completely mutated Luke and the surrounding heroes into zombies who began sinking their newly cannibalized teeth into every nearby New Yorker they could find. Horrified to see what was going on, Spider-Man, who still had Ash webbed up in a cute little web sack, tried to save who he could from the zombie onslaught. Seeing the web slinger as a threat to their food supply, Colonel America then took to the nearby rooftops and pounced on the dude, where he took a huge chunk out of his shoulder. Man, this Cap got some hops. Definitely picking Zombie Colonel America to be on my basketball team. Just don't let him get too close. The surprise attack caused Spidey to then drop Ash, where they both tumbled into a nearby alley. Ash, still wrapped up in webbing like a nice plastic wrap lunch, just happened to roll right in front of the feet of zombie Luke Cage and several others. Before they could help themselves to this freshly delivered grub, Spider-Man, still not yet affected by the virus, leapt into action and jumped on Hawkeye's head, where he put on his best zombie impression and threatened to eat the Archer's brains if they tried to take his precious Ash snack away from him. Luke and the rest warned Spidey that he didn't want to try that because they already did, and apparently zombies taste terrible to other zombies. As the still-in-character Spidey argued his case with the other infected as to why he should keep Ash, our still-webbed-up boy took advantage of the situation and tried his best to wiggle away. While they may have been zombies, they definitely were not stupid, as Luke Cage noticed this and picked poor Ash up, asking him just where he thought he was going. Ash told the smelly hungry brute to put him down, as he was the only hope they had at being saved from this unholy threat. Cage, being a total downer on all this, told Ash that he could not stop them, and in reality, they really did not want saving. Okay, Luke, I get you. You get one taste of the dark side and you go all in like right away. Kinda makes me wonder just how heroic you really are, bro. I'll be watching even non-zombie you with both eyes open. Cap then agrees to let Spidey keep Ash, who swings him to a nearby rooftop where he reveals that he was still human for the time being. The pair then look on in disgust in the streets below as they witness Luke Cage and the rest tear into the terrified New York citizens. As their streetwide feast continued, Colonel America suddenly had a rush of humanity return to him as he pleaded with Luke and the others to stop what they were doing. Declaring that they were still heroes, the good Colonel led the team back to Avengers Mansion so they could figure out a way to end things. However, that long walk clearly worked up quite the appetite, for as soon as they got back to the mansion, Luke and the rest pounced on poor Jarvis, where they ripped poor Butler apart. Thinking that there was no going back from this, Cage and the zombies then turned on the mansion's alert signal to bring any surviving hero there so they could feed on and infect them. Man, that is straight up evil! These dudes went more bad than the bad guys they ever faced! I'ma pray for y'all. As the infection spread, Nick Fury gathered the non-infected he could find to form a resistance, who was sent to the streets below to battle Luke Cage and the Horde while rescuing survivors. However, these still living heroes were quickly overrun by the growing zombie army and were forced to retreat or were infected themselves. Once the likes of Quicksilver were infected, this caused the virus to quickly become a global pandemic, which resulted in most of the Earth being picked clean of all human life. Not about to let this party end, Zombie Reed Richards put his brilliant rotting brain to use as he repaired an interdimensional portal that was built by Tony Stark when he was alive that would lead them to different worlds. He was able to use the device to contact a younger version of himself from the Ultimate Dimension, who he tricked to come to the Zombieverse. Quickly realizing he was about to be turned into living Laffy Taffy, young Reed managed to get away, where he was saved by Magneto, who was still very much alive at the time. At least for now. With the help of Magneto, young Reed and a few remaining survivors were able to escape to the Ultimate Dimension, while our boy Mag stayed behind to blow the machine up to prevent the hungry boys from wreaking havoc on other worlds. Pretty ticked that the pulmonary portal was closed, Luke Cage and a group of fellow heroes surrounded poor Magneto, ready to get their tasty revenge. While he got some decent hits in on the zombies, Magneto was sadly overrun by Luke and the others, who tore the poor man to bits. R.I.P. Magneto. Dude had the best drip in the whole Marvel galaxy. After their nice protein-packed lunch, the zombies' dopamine hit soon wore off, and the gang sat depressed, thinking they had just scarfed down the rest of their food. The zombie god would soon be in their favor, as the group soon encountered the cosmic-powered Herald of Galactus himself, the Silver Surfer, who arrived to the planet. The Chrome Cutie announced to the zombies that his master was on his way and would soon consume them and the entire globe. Not listening to the space mumbo-jumbo, Luke and the rest just saw a big shiny snack man and immediately attacked. Proving to be more than just a shiny Instagram male model, the Surfer blasted the Horde with waves of his cosmic energy. While he racked in some sweet kills, Zombie Hulk came in harder than an Elden Ring boss and bit the dude's head right off its sparkling body. Except, unlike an Elden Ring, our boy is not coming back from this one. Once the Surfer's shiny corpse hit the ground, our boy Luke Cage and a select group of other heroes, including Hulk, Colonel America, Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Giant Man, all happened to be close by and were the only ones who got a taste of the sweet space meat. Upon digesting the Surfer, Luke and the boys soon discovered that they absorbed the Herald's powers, which allowed them to shoot cool laser beams out of their hands. They then decided to become Cosmic Zombie Rave DJs and threw a huge party where, instead of dancing, they kinda cooked and ate their fellow zombie pals. Yeah, that party, not nearly as fun as it sounds. After feasting on their famished friends, Cage and the rest thought that they were off to having nothing to eat once again, until they were greeted by Galactus himself, who arrived to the planet just as the Surfer said he would. Declaring that they were still hungry, the zombies went to attack Galactus, but were quickly proved to be outmatched when the big boy started blasting cosmic beams right out of his fingertips. Dude is basically Master Hand from Smash Bros. Just with a full body. So, Master Man? The boys tried to take the World Conqueror head on with their cosmic energy, but it just bounced off the dude's armor, who then returned the favor by unleashing another barrage of attacks, which resulted in poor Luke Cage getting his arm blasted right off. Not wanting to stick around and get turned into zombie goo, Luke Cage and the gang decided to regroup to Giant Man's lab so they could form a plan of attack. While the big brains like Tony Stark, Hank Pym, and Bruce Banner worked on a weapon that could take Galactus down, Luke Cage and Spider-Man took a load off and played cards while they waited for dinner. Honestly, they look so chill here. Luke, wanna play Go Fish? Got any arms? Sorry guys, I had to make that joke at least once. Eventually, the starving scientists were able to make a machine that would be able to combine their powers into one concentrated blast. The boys then rolled the giant Metal Gear-sized cannon out, aimed it at Galactus and fired, which then sent out a huge blast of energy at the man, causing the giant to come tumbling to the ground. Just as they went to claim their successful hunt, the zombie boys are soon interrupted by their former villains, who wish to claim the big meaty man for themselves. Not having any time for this nonsense, Luke Cage and his powered-up pals went to war with the villains, whom they made quick work of. After they finished toasting their foes, the cosmic zombies then looked on at a weakened Galactus who tried to get back up, swearing revenge on what the heroes did to him. Not letting this boss get his health bar back, Cage and the boys leapt on the space giant, where they helped themselves to the biggest snack yet. After fully consuming Galactus, the zombies' powers leveled up once again, where they gained Galactus' powers and outfit, which allowed them to travel through space and eat full-on planets. During their Galactic Conquest, Luke and the boys eventually found their way to the Skrull homeworld, where they got their clammy undead hands on some tasty green Skrull meat. After devouring a whole mountain full of Skrull citizens, Zombie Hulk expressed his discomfort that he was still hungry. In his own roundabout way, Cage tried to calm the poor guy down by telling him that they are zombies now, and because of this, they're kinda gonna be hungry for the rest of the time. Not being exactly comforted by these words, this only made Hulk angrier, who then proceeded to smack Cage to the other side of the planet. Hey Hulk, we've all been hangry before, and we've all felt like doing this, but you don't actually smack your friends halfway across the world. That's just rude, dude. As the zombies continued their Skrull buffet, Zombie Luke eventually crash-landed into a Skrull ship, which contained a dimensionally displaced Black Panther, Storm, Human Torch, and Thing, who accidentally found their way here from the main Marvel universe of Earth 616. Black Panther then unmasked himself and tried to defuse the situation by tricking Cage into thinking that he was the one from their universe and had found a cure to the virus. This Luke Cage, however, turned out to be smarter than he looked and quickly discovered that these heroes were not of this world and wanted to know how to get to theirs so he could get his hands on fresh packs of human snacks. Panther and the rest then attacked Cage, where they brought the entire structure down on the hungry zombie. This did not hold the dude for long, who quickly dug his way out. T'Challa and the others managed to hop into a ship and escape to the other side of the planet, while Luke regrouped with the zombies and told them about his dimensional discovery. After doing battle with the zombies, Black Panther and the remaining heroes managed to get back to Earth 616, while Cage and the rest tapped into their Galactus powers, which allowed them to eat the entire Skrull planet, with Cage proclaiming that it was some good eating. Man, what do you think a planet tastes like? Honestly, it probably just tastes like dirt and rocks, maybe a little bit of water. Doesn't sound too tasty to me. Unless you put that McDonald's French fry seasoning on it. I don't know what they put in those things, but it tastes delicious. Cage and the boys then spent the next 40 years helping themselves to all the good eats as they cleared out the entire solar system of its planets and its people. All good things would come to an end though, as the gang reached the edge of the universe and realized there was nothing left to eat. Depression aside, it was also during this time that Luke Cage decided to get his bad arm patched up from the fight with Galactus and got this sick green alien one to replace it with. Hey man, if you're going to be an intergalactic powered zombie eating everything in sight, you gotta be dripped out to do it. Arguing about what to do, the zombies soon remembered the dimensional portal that was destroyed by Magneto all those years ago. They then decided to head back to Earth and fix it so they could enter the multiverse and let the feast begin once again. It was probably during all this time committing mass genocide and playing cards that zombie Luke Cage and Spider-Man had developed a friendship. As they flew back, Peter confided in Luke that the longer it seemed he went without food, that his hunger had actually started to fade. We are then taken back to Earth, where it is revealed that Black Panther of this dimension had also survived, where he and a group of Magneto's followers had rebuilt society to the best of their ability in the middle of Manhattan, which they now called New Wakanda. It is here that he ruled peacefully, but there was a small group of radical mutants led by the crazy Malcolm Cortez, who believed that he was unfit for the throne. The group then organized an assassination attempt on Panther, which resulted in him being nearly killed, but was saved after Zombie Wasp infected him with the virus. Man, I don't remember this mission in Assassin's Creed, although a game taking place in a zombie apocalypse would be pretty awesome. After consuming the would-be killer, Panther and Wasp then quarantined themselves within the Wakandan vaults so their hunger could fade and they could return to society. Upon coming back, the group went to put Malcolm on trial for his crimes, but was soon interrupted by Luke Cage and the other cosmic zombies, who finally made it back to Earth. Guys, we don't have time for this. Can't you go eat another planet while we put this crazy radical on trial, please? A little too excited to see human meat for the first time in a while, Hulk wasted no time where he jumped down and began eating every survivor that he could find. The jugular-eating green giant was then stopped by Giant Man, who told him to chill on the eats, for they did not want to run out of food like last time. He proposed to the boys that they could turn the survivor camp into a human breeding ground so they could have an unlimited supply of meat and never go hungry again. Seeing the evil and insanity in these words, Spider-Man and Luke Cage finally came to their senses after all these years and rebelled against their fellow bros. I mean, it would have been cooler if you guys turned good like 40 years ago, but hey, better late than never, right? During the battle, our boy Luke Cage did not fare too well, as he had his stomach sliced open by Wolverine and was then cut in half after the new Wakandan scientist Reynolds deployed a shield around the palace, locking most of the zombies out. However, the humans were not completely safe though, as Reynolds had missed a zombie, as the vicious zombie Gladiator was locked inside with Luke and the rest. Spidey and the gang then tried to stop Gladiator, but quickly proved to be no match for the Space Warrior's zombie strength. Luke Cage, well, what was left of him anyway, then jumped on Gladiator and tried to fry his face with his cosmic energy, only to get his face caved in by the deranged hero. Poor Luke, man. Dude definitely suffered the worst bodily injuries in the whole series. Just as things looked like they were about to be over for the good guys, Homie Forge, decked out in one of Iron Man's old suits, showed up to the scene where he then beat the snot out of Gladiator and held him in a chokehold while Spidey and Cage popped the dude's head like a purple zit. After the battle, Spider-Man thanked Cage for the assist, but admitted his homie looked rather awful, where Cage then retorted that he felt great for he just lost like 80 pounds. Man, even as a one-armed legless zombie, the man still stays optimistic. I need this man's positivity, people. Swearing to find a way into the palace and kill everyone inside, Iron Man and the other hostile zombies then flew off to Reed Richards' Baxter building in search of the multiverse portal. We are then taken back to New Wakanda, where the wounded are tended to. During the commotion, the Hulk had reverted back into Bruce Banner, who was kept sedated and restrained. Yeah, this looks totally safe to me. This absolutely will not come back to bite anyone later. Definitely not. During this time, Forge had even whipped up a set of super cool robot legs for Luke Cage to use so he could be mobile once again. Dude, so Luke Cage gets a cool green alien arm and robot legs? Man is just a living Mr. Potato Head at this point. After being patched up, Forge reveals to the group that he had actually taken the portal from the Baxter building long ago, but just could not figure out how to get it to work. Knowing the other zombies would soon come back to claim their prize, Luke and the other heroes prepared to go to war with their former friends. Just as I thought, the cosmic zombies soon came back to Earth, where Panther cut a deal with them that they would lower the shield and give them the portal if they left his people alone. Surprisingly quite civil, the zombies agreed to these terms, but were double-crossed as Panther had the shield raised back up, trapping them all outside the palace as they battled each other. During the bloody battle, Bruce Banner then woke up, why wouldn't he, and then approached Reynolds, who was manning the shield. He told the poor old man that to keep his hulking transformation at bay, he was kinda gonna have to gobble him up. However, just as he went in for a bite, he pressed Reynolds up against the shield control, which lowered it, causing the hungry heroes to run inside to get their prize. Giant Man would soon find his way to the vault containing the remaining humans. The delighted gluttonous giant then went to help himself to the feast, where he quickly realized something was not quite right. Like Luke Cage, Spider-Man, Panther, and Wasp before him, Giant Man realized that after all this time without food, his hunger too had subsided. Just before he could properly process what was going on, our boy Luke Cage stormed in and gave him a proper Falcon punch right to the jaw. I know the zombies can't really feel pain, but man, that was awesome. Luke went in to deliver the killing blow, but quickly discovered that his friends were cured like him and were no longer hostile. Breathing a sigh of relief that this was finally over, the gang was then quickly interrupted by Zombie Hulk, who burst through the wall, ready to help himself to some survivor sorbet. Cage and the other heroes tried to restrain the big guy, which only made him angrier, which resulted in the brutal deaths of several prominent heroes. Knowing that the only way to stop this dude from killing everyone would be to get his meal, Reynolds then stepped in and offered himself to be the Hulk's midnight snack. The big man gladly took the old man's offer up and ate him in front of everyone, who watched in horror at the monsters that they had been for so long. Upon eating poor Reynolds, Hulk too realized that his hunger had faded as he reverted back into Bruce Banner. Horrified at what he had done, Banner pleaded with Cage and the others to kill him, as it would be the only way to end the Hulk's rampage. The heroes agreed, as they then used their powers to fry Banner's head, ending the life of the Incredible Hulk. After the battle, Cage and the heroes helped clean up the destruction that they had caused and held a funeral to honor the fallen heroes for who they were before this madness destroyed their lives. Later on, Malcolm and Giant Man announced that they had managed to fix the multiverse portal and gathered Luke and the other heroes there so they could go to other worlds and gather supplies to fix this world that they had destroyed. This all ended up being a double cross by Malcolm though, who activated the machine, teleporting the zombies to worlds unknown so he could kill Black Panther's family and take the throne for himself. Man, this dude is nuts. Couldn't you have waited to put this up to a vote or something? While this would seem to be the end of Cage and the zombie stories, the saga would continue as the gang found themselves transported to different sections of a new world called Earth Z, which was a dimension quite similar to theirs before the infection broke out. However, this dimensional travel would alter their cells, causing them to lose their Galactus powers, but also cause their hunger to return, which resulted in them spreading the infection to this world as well. Things would play out similar to their original dimension, with all life being nearly wiped out here on Earth Z. This then led to the creation of a new zombie Avengers team, which consisted of powerful heroes like Submariner, Moon Knight, and Sentry. Luke Cage eventually combated his hunger once again, where he found his way to the Shi'ar homeworld, where he allied himself with their warriors and battled against this new undead Avengers team. However, their combined strength was too much for Cage, who was soon brutally killed and had his brain placed on a flesh hook in their compound as a trophy and warning for anyone who would dare cross them. And that is the full gory story of zombie Luke Cage. His story was definitely one of the longest that we have covered, for he was one of the longest living zombies in the whole story. In most media, Luke Cage is a pretty underrated character, so it was cool to see him fleshed out like this in a big story arc. It still does not make much sense that a dude with unbreakable skin was bitten and infected with the virus though. It was pitched in the original plan for the story that Luke was supposed to be immune to the virus effects and would have been one of the Resistance fighters. Something like that definitely would have been cool to see. Given Luke Cage's time in shows like Jessica Jones, The Defenders, and his own spin-off series, this definitely leaves the window of opportunity for the guy to make an appearance in the upcoming Marvel Zombies TV show. It would be absolutely awesome to just see him shrugging off zombie bites as he caves in heads. I'm a simple man. I see a cool jack dude beating up zombies, I like. It's a peaceful life. I have no idea what will happen in that show, but it would certainly be cool to see this heavy hitter make an appearance. What I would love more than anything though is to hear what you think. Did you know this about zombie Luke Cage? Was there something I missed? What other characters would you like to see us cover? Sound off in the comments. Also be sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed today's content, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon to be notified of all of our latest videos. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the music in this video, it was all made by my boy Ognihs. You can check out his Spotify in the link below. You can also check out our Patreon, also in the link below. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you are awesome and loved. God bless, and I will see you in the next one.